Joining me now is Parents Defending Education founder and president, Nicole Neily. Nikki, you cover a lot of this. You testified before the Senate last year. You're going to testify before the House next week. And I want to go through, I was looking at some of your testimony, and some of the things that jumped out that President Trump was alluding to or talking about. Just the sort of equity grading, for instance, equitable grading, rather.
Yeah.
What is this all about?
It's inserting equity into absolutely everything we do. And so, you know, it's teaching kids that being on time is a white supremacy culture. It's putting they, thems into the word problems.
It's ironic because if you do that, on one hand, it feels like you may be attacking, you know, white Americans, but you're also saying to other people that you're lazy, that, you know, it's okay for your culture to be late. Like, it's okay, and don't be ashamed of it.
Yeah, it's cultural relativism, but then you think, all right, well, who's going to actually listen to that? And then who will still make sure that their kids get to school on time?
Right.
And so I think, you know, it ends up hurting the people that it is intended to help, ostensibly.
Things like deadlines don't matter, no sense of urgency, no sense of accountability taught at a very early age.
Yeah, showing your answer in math class, I mean, that is also something, you know, that's bad. I mean, of course you want kids to learn from their mistakes. And we don't want to coddle, and we don't want to, you know, give everybody, if they fail, they should know that they fail, and they should be held back so that they repeat and they master the subject matter.
Right, and one size fits all, the big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we've seen districts across the country do what's called detracking. So they're getting rid of gifted and talented programs, AP programs, because many districts feel that the wrong races are in those programs. And so they don't want anybody to feel bad. And so we'll keep everybody equally back. We'll hold everyone back. Everyone will be equally stupid, for want of a better term.
So this is a part and parcel of the participation trophy thing. But how much of this do we put on parents? Because I've talked to parents. This is a big topic for me. I really believe in it. I was on the board of a charter school in the South Bronx for a while. I'm on the board of the Boys and Girls Club of Harlem right now. This is something I want to spend the rest of my life trying to work toward. But it bothers me when I see parents who are happy that little Johnny's getting an A, even though little Johnny can't read.
No, and I think it's really important even to dig into the NAEP scores beyond just, I mean, the dismal results we saw. I mean, let's remember, even before the pandemic, they were not great. They were nothing to write home about. And then when you look at the states, and again, people think, all right, well, my school is at proficiency. Well, what does proficiency mean? You dig into the different states, and in some states, their actual state standards are below NAEP standards. And so people think that their schools are doing well. You and I know what our kids are learning now is not a fraction of what you, like, you know, what we grew up learning.
My mother learned in the 8th grade is like college material right now.
Yeah.
You know, and we talk about the poems, Robert Frost and those kind of things, like, whoa. So let's talk solutions for a moment, because that's one of the things that you really, people come to you for, right? Particularly these lawmakers. At the top of the list is breaking the teacher union stranglehold. How do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to take them on head on. I mean, you look at every summer, the NEA and the AFT have their annual conference. What things do they vote on? What are their priorities? They're voting on things like abortion. They're voting on Ukraine. They're voting on Palestine. A couple years ago, they actually voted down refocusing on student achievement. And so they don't care about our kids. And I think that really was thrown into stark relief during COVID. You know, they kept schools closed for longer than needed to because there was a naked power grab. In California, as part of their reopening, they said, we want a moratorium on charter schools, Medicare for all. I mean, this was just about money and power. It wasn't about our kids.
You say work with families rather than against them. What does that mean?
I think we also need to just look at, you know, bringing parents into this. You know, children do better when schools and families are in partnership. And when I learn that my kid is learning about World War II, we'll have German food, we'll watch a movie. We want to bring these lessons to life. But if I get an email once a week that says they learned about the 60s, well, what part? Was it the Weather Underground or was it the Beatles? I mean, why are you holding us at arm's length? I mean, things like transitioning kids behind parents' backs, that's not a constructive relationship. That's an adversarial one.
We've only got 20 seconds to go. How hopeful are you that we can turn this around?
I'm really hopeful. I think, you know, this is finally a vindication with President Trump coming to office. The parents' concerns actually were valid. We were gaslit by schools for years and years, told that this stuff's not in school, we got this, you know, we're teaching your kids. We've been betrayed, and so I think it's time to right the ship.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let us know how it goes at the House next week.
Sounds good.
All right, Liz.